I met my wife when I was 16 years old, but we got married when we were both 21 and had our daughter at 22. We are both 47 now. The way I caught her cheating was a weird day. I woke up that morning feeling ill. I almost called into work, but I went in instead, but ended up leaving early. I'm so glad I did leave work early that day. My wife worked also. I blame myself for feeling ill, or maybe it was dinner from the night before or something. She was a great cook, by the way. Now that I think about it, it is probably the only thing she was good at. A huge red flag that I completely missed was her best friend, Kay. A single woman and always had a different guy. She would tell my wife about guys she hooked up with, etc. My wife would claim she could never live that way and says she's so happy to be married and have a family. Yet, that was her best friend. The best friend also screwed my wife's boyfriend in college. But this is her best friend. Guys, you are who you hang around. I discovered who my wife truly was when I caught her cheating. So I headed to work that morning, feeling like crap. Felt a little better after I had some coffee. I worked throughout the mornings, and it's like this nauseous feeling I had on and off. I clocked out at lunch. Before getting home, I stopped and grabbed some medicine. Something to knock me out when I got home, hoping to sleep this off. Now my wife is supposed to be at work. She got ready and everything that morning. I'd usually leave before her, but she was getting ready as if she was going to work. I pulled into our building. We were renting a town home that had a unit on both sides of us. You had to pull in and around to get to the parking lot, and I saw my wife's car there along with one other car parked in the neighbor's spot. I figured maybe he had a visitor, but where's his car and why is my wife's car here? I had nowhere to park, so I pulled out and parked in front of our building in the streets. I walked up to the door and I hear music blasting, very loud. I thought maybe it was the neighbors, but realized it was coming from my unit. Our bedroom window could be seen from the front of the unit, and I realized the music was coming from there. I walked in. Sure enough, music is being played in my place. I ran upstairs, opened my bedroom door, and my wife was riding some guy and her best friend was there kissing the dude. I was shouting over the music, "What the hell?" My wife jumped off this guy, who I later found out was her boss, telling me to calm down. "Honey, please stop." I pushed my wife and started beating the crap out of this guy. Her best friend started hitting me and landed a hard blow to my nose. It wasn't broken, but it had to be corrected by a doctor. Me trying to sue her and the boss for sleeping with my wife is a whole different story. Things aren't as easy as folk make it out to be on the internet. My wife started fighting with her best friend. This was completely wild. I think back now, and I just can't believe that show happened. I cut the music off, told the guy to get the F out of my house. He grabbed his things and ran so fast that he took off nude, but when I ran to the other room to look out the window, he had his pants on running to his car, so he must have put them on downstairs while rushing out. I went back into the room where my wife and her friend were arguing, and her best friend is saying, "You need to tell him before I do." I said, "You may as well tell me because we're done anyway. Let the crap out." My wife was completely silent looking at her friend. The friend eventually said that this was what they do, and my wife joined her in the business 3 years ago when I lost my job. I was laid off from my position while my wife kept her job at that time. I was getting unemployment benefit, but me losing that much income made things a little tough on us. She said my wife came to her for money, and she told my wife that she could join her in her profession. I asked what profession, but she said I knew what she does. I said I didn't, and I've never known or really cared, just always known her to be with different guys every time I saw her. She said men pay her for her services, mainly just dates and conversations. I stopped her and said, "So you're an escort?" She was just looking at me. I turned and looked at my wife, but her head was down. I left the house. I drove over to a nearby family's home and told them everything. Divorce, STD/STI checkup, and paternity testing. My daughter was the only option. With the help of a close family member, I was able to find a divorce attorney. He helped me pay for it. I did eventually pay him back, even though he told me not to worry. I was clean after visiting my doctor and getting a checkup, and my beautiful daughter is mine. I tried suing for alienation of affection. My lawyer brought this up to me. I didn't even know about it. Her boss fought it, and he claimed he was not the cause of our divorce. My wife sided with him and stated that our marriage was over long before dealing with him. Long story short, that lawsuit was dropped and I wasn't able to sue him. With money being tight and my main priority being that I wanted a divorce, that was my priority, divorcing my wife. My ex-wife and her boss both were fired from their positions. I have reason to believe that my ex-wife continued that lifestyle of working as an escort. But I think now, no one probably wants that wrinkled, dried-up box, so now she wants her husband back. Our daughter's wedding isn't the first time she told me she misses me. One time, we were all with my daughter planning some things, and my ex-wife brings up, "Oh my gosh, I remember our honeymoon. We went to a hotel and a concert, but it was so much fun." I avoid acknowledging what she said. She continued, "We used to be so happy, but stupid old me just had to ruin it." I continued to ignore her, and she started crying. My daughter was just looking at her mother and asked her mom what was wrong. Ex-wife said she ruined her own life and has nothing, that she's trying to talk, but no one is listening to her. She told my daughter to swear to her that she will do whatever it takes to keep her family together and not be like her. I tried to hold back laughter, but a bit of it slipped out, and both my daughter and ex-wife looked right at me. I excused myself to the restroom and was laughing my butt off. I couldn't believe this woman. I was looking in the mirror poking fun. I headed back out to the front room and we finished the planning. On the day of my daughter's wedding, my ex-wife told me she misses me, and being at our daughter's wedding was emotional because it reminded her of the love we had and our family. She wishes she wouldn't have destroyed our family and hopes one day I can find it in my heart to forgive her. She tried crying on my shoulder. I pushed her off and said, "Hey, you're going to spoil my suit, woman," and headed back inside to celebrate my daughter's day. My daughter wanted to take pictures with the both of us. I did it for my baby. I just can't stand to be around this woman, and she couldn't help but end up wherever I was. I tried circling around speaking to folks, making sure everyone is okay. I turned around and she was standing right behind me. I said to her right there, "Do you mind?" She grabbed my shoulder and said, "Please hear me out, please." My daughter's cousins were just staring at us. I know they were embarrassed by their aunt. I would be. We headed back outside. I screamed at her, "What do you want?" She told me she's going to be having surgery. Something about her lady parts and a cyst, but she's going to be okay. That she just felt alone. She asked if I could find it in my heart to care for her the week she will be home from the surgery, as our daughter will be traveling abroad that month. I told her I was so sorry to hear that she had to go through this and hoped it all worked out, but me caring for her was absolutely not possible. She started crying and grabbed me again, but I gently pulled away. She said, "Wait, so you won't be here for someone you were in love with, the mother of your daughter?" I said, "No." I asked her about Kay, her best friend, and she told me how she was in a psychiatric hospital. Said she started doing drugs and got a hold of some bad stuff and messed up her brain. She apparently has all kinds of issues now, and even tried offing her own family member when they tried to care for her. I said, "Oh," turned around and went back inside. My ex-wife left right after that. I saw her speaking to my daughter before walking out and wiping tears from her face. You think that was the last I heard from her? Nope. She even convinced my daughter that I was a horrible person for not helping her the week of her surgery. My daughter cursed me out and cried because she thought she'd have to cancel her trip and lose all the money she's already spent on it. I'm not taking care of that woman ever. She should pay for the extra care from a professional nurse or something. She's not my responsibility. I'm not at all surprised by my ex-wife's best friend, Kay, with the whole drug thing. I remember saying to my ex-wife once before that I think that woman was on something, and I meant it. She had this hyper attitude. She was jittery sometimes, but my ex-wife used to always tell me that's just how she was, and she's always been that way. No, I think she's always probably done some type of drug, but indeed she just ended up taking something that was laced or something. When my daughter called me, she was crying, saying I was being a little too harsh to her mother, that she understood what her mom did to me, but I should be there for her, and it's only right. I told her no, that's not going to happen, and I wasn't going to take care of her mom. She has family. Someone else needs to take care of her, and it wasn't my responsibility. I told her I want nothing to do with her mom. I explained this to her, but she just couldn't seem to understand it. My daughter never canceled her trip. She went on her trip, and my ex-wife did try one last time to get me to help her, and it came with tears. I got a call from her sister's number. Spoke to her sister briefly, and her sister said, "I'm calling you because my sister, your ex-wife, wanted to speak with you." I said, "No. I know what this is about, and I don't want to hear it." Her sister proceeded to tell me that no one was able to help her, and that the surgery must be done at that time, and she needed help. She even offered to pay me to do it, but I said no, there's not enough money in this world to get me to help. Told her to please stop calling me. My ex-wife jumped on the phone and asked if I could please stop being such a D and do what I'm supposed to do. I pulled the phone away from my face and just stared at it. What I'm supposed to do? She has to be kidding me. I put the phone back to my ear and asked what she's talking about. She said, "Yes, we're divorced, but you still married me. We were once in love, and that love does not just go away. How can I still have all this love for you and you not have it for me? You love your daughter, but you don't love me. It doesn't make any sense." I replied with, "Good luck with your surgery," and I hung up and I blocked her sister's number. I proceeded to block every single family member of hers in my phone because I did not want people texting me or calling me, begging me to come take care of her. She's not my responsibility. If she would have never screwed me over, and if she was still my wife, then of course I would climb mountains barefoot for her. But the fact that she screwed me over, possibly put my health at risk, and ruined my family, you're telling me I'm supposed to help you? It's my duty as an ex-husband. That's a thing. Really? If there's any ex-husband out there and you're going out of your way to help your ex-wife who wronged you, something is seriously wrong with you and you need help. You should be in a psychiatric hospital along with her best friend, Cade, because that doesn't make any sense to me. I have not heard from my ex-wife. I have no idea how that surgery went. Honestly, I don't care. I don't want something bad to happen to her, but hopefully the surgery goes well, and hopefully everything goes well. I'm not that type of person, but you're not going to get me to come take care of you, get you back on your feet, just so you can spit in my face again. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you again. Take care.